What is going on, guys? Boy Trent is back in video, and today have a very special guest on the channel, Mr. Will Furness, Ole Miss Baseball player number 35. So, Will, welcome in, and definitely appreciate you doing this, man.
Yeah, no problem at all.
Okay, so first, just tell your name, tell where you're from, jersey number, where you played high school at. Just kind of just share what you want to share with the people.
Yeah, for sure. My name is Will Furness. My legal name is Wilburn, actually. So Wilburn Furniss.
Okay.
I live in Nacogdoches, Texas. It's quite frankly in the middle of nowhere, East Texas. I went to Nacogdoches High School, played baseball there for 2 years. I went to a private school for that didn't have baseball, so I didn't actually get to play high school baseball until my junior year. But I transferred to Nac, played my junior and senior year, and when I got to Ole Miss, I didn't really. I mean, didn't want to say choose my number. I didn't have necessarily a reason behind choosing my number. I kind of chose some of my favorite numbers, and whatever was available that was closest to that is what I wanted. So that's kind of the backstory behind the number. But yeah, that's about it.
Okay, I got you. Okay, so in these interviews, I always like starting at the very beginning. So, first of all, how did you start playing baseball?
Uh, let's see. My dad. I'm not sure if you or anybody else knows
Yeah,
this.
yeah,
My
Dad.
dad
I do. He
played.
played at LSU.
Yes, he played. He
Yeah,
played
I know.
baseball at LSU. Then got drafted and played in the pros for a couple years before going on to go back to med school and be a doctor. But that's kind of when it all started. I've always had a baseball bat in my hand. I've just really loved the sport from the beginning, just because watching my dad, like clips of my dad and stuff like that, like even as a youngster, made me want to pick up the bat and hit. uh, when I was younger, I would always want to hit. My dad would go out there and toss to me, feed me on the tee, stuff like that. I would always try to work hard because I wanted to be good at baseball. It's just just always been a love of mine. And my dad really helped me with that. And it kind of jump started. I don't really want to say my career because, I was 4 years old, but, jump
Yeah.
start my love into the sport of baseball and my itch to work hard.
Okay, I got you. Okay, so you do play baseball. Was there any other sports you played as well growing up?
Yes, actually, whenever I went to that private school, I was at a 1A small private school named Regents Academy in Nacogdoches. And since it's a 1A school and it's also a private school, I had the opportunity to play basketball and soccer. Now, I'm not the best at either of them. I played in a 1A private school. It's
Yeah.
not like you just have to be athletic in order to be on the team. And we had a really good we had both our teams were really good for 1A. But I ended up starting on the basketball team my freshman and sophomore year, and then my freshman year for soccer, we won state, and I actually got first
Okay.
team all state, which was mainly because of my defense, because they were very, very good, and so I didn't have to do very much back there besides just stand there. So I kind of just got the participation award for first team all state. But that sums it up about all the sports I played.
Okay. I got you. I got you. Okay, so I got to ask you. Of course, I think you mentioned you started playing baseball at age 4.
Mhm.
So when did you realize, like, hey, there's a chance I could play Division 1 somewhere? When did you know that, hey, I'm kind of good at baseball? So,
Well, honestly, you never really, I never really knew. I just wanted to, whenever I can't remember what age I was, but like I was hitting one day and I was just like, you know what? I want to play baseball in the SEC for a big time school, and I want to do it. And I'm just going to work to do that. And so my dad was like, okay, so we're going to start working harder. And he pushed me and pushed me. And, I honestly, it's hard to tell when you're good enough. The only way you can really tell is when you start getting recruited. Which for me, it happened going into my freshman year of high school. It was at Lake Point in Marietta, Georgia. Um, we were playing in the WWBA, and I had been having an absolutely awful summer up to that point. and I got contacts. And I know this may sound silly. It probably honestly didn't do much of a difference, but my head just like told me it did a difference. And I ended up hitting really, really well starting in that tournament. And lucky me, all the coaches that needed to see me were at that tournament, and Coach Clem and Coach Laff were both there watching that tournament. So I got pretty lucky in that aspect. But I honestly, it's still sinking in that I'm playing D1 SEC baseball. It's not like I don't okay, I'm good enough to play here, and I deserve to be here. It's just I'm just very blessed.
Okay. So how many offers do you have, and who was your first offer? That's another question.
Okay. My first offer was actually TCU. I committed very early because I knew my two top two schools that I wanted to go to by far, and even my top 5 schools I knew, and honestly, my top 4 schools, there was top 4, and they all offered me, and so I was like, you know what, I'm just going to go ahead and pull the trigger. It was TCU offered me first, and then Arkansas came in and offered me. And then it was, I think actually it was Ole Miss was my third and final. Whenever Ole Miss offered me, I kind of stopped talking to other coaches, just because I knew that like I was going to choose out of these 3 for sure. So I kind of cut off contact with other coaches. I could have, I could, if I would have waited longer, I probably could have scratched a couple more off my list, but I didn't really want to wait, or there was no really reason to, because I knew where I wanted to go. And that was eventually Ole Miss. But yeah, TCU, Arkansas, and Ole Miss.
Okay, I got you. So I got to ask you now. Yeah, for those who don't know, yeah, you kind of mentioned earlier your dad played at LSU, and actually pretty good. Actually in the College Baseball Hall of Fame. Of course, you mentioned playing the pros as well too. But why not LSU?
Oh,
Just kind of
well,
wondering.
yeah, no, it's there's no like, I don't have any prejudice against LSU, and I still am a fan of LSU through my dad. But I honestly, like, I didn't, after my 8th grade year, so I went to a camp at LSU, and they didn't really have much interest in me because they recruit a different way, which is totally fine. And honestly, I didn't really want to go to LSU.
Okay.
LSU had changed a lot since my dad had been there. And I know this may sound kind of selfish, I guess, but I didn't really want to follow my dad's footsteps as well. And I felt that there were better options for me to play at a different school, and that fit me better, which was Ole Miss. And I really loved Ole Miss. I came to Ole Miss twice before I actually committed. I went to LSU right before I came to Oxford, and I liked LSU a lot. And then I came to Oxford, and I was just like, man, you can't really beat that. So it wasn't necessarily that they weren't interested in one, and I wasn't really that interested as well. So I just fell in love with Oxford, basically.
So was it like the town that kind of caught your attention, or just the whole team in general? I'm sure it was kind of several things that got your attention, but what were
Yeah,
like
yeah.
some of the things that kind of just really caught you?
So I would say probably the top thing would be the program, the success that they had like the previous seasons, and that I
Yeah.
knew they were going to have in the coming seasons with the recruiting classes and the coaches that they have. Coach Bianco actually coached my dad at LSU. He was the
That's
assistant
what I thought.
coach.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
he was the assistant coach.
Bianco was still an assistant there
Mhm.
back in I'm not too sure about this, but I'm thinking Bianco went to McNeese and was it 98, I think.
Yes, I
Yeah,
believe he was
that's
there
what I
from
thought it was.
'96 to '98. I'm not entirely sure on that, but he
Yeah.
did coach my dad, and I knew my dad loved him. And me and my dad are pretty similar. We have the same minds. We kind of have the same mannerisms, and my dad loved Coach B, and I got to know him a little bit before I committed, and also with Coach Clem and Coach Laff. I've always loved all 3 of them, and so that was one big factor. Another big factor was the campus. It's absolutely beautiful. I mean, it's not like I can't walk outside and be like, I don't like this place. Like, you can't do that in Oxford. And another thing is the people, like the fans, even just the people of Oxford. Like, Oxford's a small town, but the fact that we can draw over half of our population to a game, we averaged about
Yeah.
10,000 fans a game, and we only
Yeah.
have 26,000 people in Oxford. That's crazy. That just shows how much Oxford and the people in Mississippi and around the country love Ole Miss, and that's just
Yeah.
nuts.
Mhm.
You can't beat it.
Yeah. You can't. You mentioned, man, you can't beat that at all. But okay, so next question I want to ask you, and this is kind of getting now into Ole Miss now. So yeah, for those who don't know you, yeah, you're a freshman and new to the team this year. So I kind of want to ask you a question, and I guess it's kind of talking about newcomers as well too. But who's some guys that has really looked pretty good, pretty impressive? Guys in the outfield, infield, and also pitchers as well too.
Are you talking about returners or newcomers? Does it matter?
Yeah, my bad. Like newcomers, I guess.
Okay.
Kind of guys that Ole Miss fans may not know who they are right now. Just
Okay.
guys that kind of really standing out to you.
Okay. Let's see. Ethan Ledge is probably the first
Yeah,
one that comes to mind. He is just he's a very, very good baseball player, and I think he's going to be a very, very big player on our team this year, and um, he's going to be a key role in like our wins and our lineup and even on the field. I mean, he's just a very well-rounded player. Another player that comes to mind is Ethan Groff. Ethan
yeah,
Groff he's a great outfielder, and he swings the bat well too. And he's going to be, in my opinion, I feel like he's going to be at the top of the lineup, leading us off. Maybe two hole, but he's a very, very key piece of our lineup as well. And let's see, Grayson Saunier.
yeah,
He's a very good pitcher. He's It's not very often you come across a pitcher, let alone just a freshman, a pitcher period that sits 92, 95 and has control of all three of his off speed pitches, or maybe it's
yeah. It's
two or three off speed
definitely
pitches.
not common with a freshman for sure.
Yeah, exactly. And so that's just very, very impressive. And well, I mean, we honestly, all of us, we have a very impressive class this year, and we obviously that we needed that because we had a lot of people leave last year after the national championship. So we needed a lot of firepower, I would say, to come into this lineup, and also in the pen and out of the pen, and obviously starters as well. And I think Coach Laff and Coach Clem did a very, very good job of recruiting that class when they knew that they were going to need guys.
Yeah, I got you. Yeah, it's kind of leading to the next question. Now, of course, losing Elko, losing Graham, DeLucia. I could go on and on throughout the list of guys on this loss last year, but is there a message that Bianco's, I guess, kind of sending to the players, challenging players, guys to step up? Um, I guess it's kind of my question is who's gonna be guys that steps up, or how will Ole Miss be successful this year in 2023? I guess it's kind of the question I'm trying to ask.
So like leaders that are going to step up and try to lead the team, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Okay, yeah. I think we were left in very good hands. Tim Elko, and Kev and all those guys, they were great leaders. But all leaders have to leave eventually. And they were leaders to guys like G Wood and Peyton Chatinier and a bunch of the other returners for all these years. And so Peyton and G Wood have done a great job, and I truly believe, like, I see them as our leaders. You know, G Wood is a very energetic guy. Peyton is as well.
yeah, yeah.
Peyton's very, very energetic. He brings a lot of energy to the team. It's phenomenal. I've never been around somebody like that. But I would say, um, we were left in very good hands, and there's definitely a very heavy leader presence with those two, and we won't be short of leaders. We
Okay,
have plenty of leaders.
okay. Good answer. Good answer. Okay, so I do want to ask you a couple more questions as well too. This will be kind of getting pretty close to wrapping up here, but always enjoy asking the players just kind of random questions. I guess you can kind of call it like a fun game, I guess. But if you had a daughter, what teammate would you not trust dating your daughter?
Oh gosh. Uh, I'm gonna have to say, and this is a newcomer. So I'm gonna. He's gonna be mad at me for this. Jordan Vera. I would say Jordan Vera. Yeah.
Why Vera?
Uh,
Or can't say on camera or
no, it's nothing bad. It's just
okay.
he's kind of a player. He talks to a couple girls at a time. You know, he's a classic player.
Oh,
You know?
okay.
Oh yeah, oh
I
yeah.
see how it is. So, so
yeah. He's a very good looking man. So you know, he can do it.
okay. So yeah, you're thinking he's on a cheat and not not respect your daughter.
Oh no, he's a great guy. I honestly wouldn't mind any of my teammates dating my daughter, but you know, I just had to choose one. So who did Bo? Did you ask Bo this question last night?
Yeah, he actually said Banks Tolly. That was his answer. Well, just because Bo, this is the thing. Bo and Banks, they were both at Meridian Community College a little bit, and Bo was basically just kind of like, hey, I've known Banks for quite a while and kind of know him too good. I just don't think I could trust him.
Yes.
That was kind of basically his answer.
Yeah, I could see that. I could see that. Yeah, no, that's funny.
Okay, so I do want to ask you now, favorite athlete all time, if it is baseball or different sport.
Ooh, you know, a lot of people would just say like Bryce Harper or Mike Trout. You know, one of the big names in any of the sports, to be honest. But I'm gonna have to go with David Ortiz.
Okay.
Yeah, maybe some people like say that answer, but I kind of model whenever I was younger. I tried to model my swing after him with the bat tip and the leg kick and all that. Obviously, I don't do it exactly like him because I'm not as strong as him, and he's a very impressive hitter. So I can't actually do all the bat tipping and stuff like that. But you know, I tried to model my swing after his, or I guess an abbreviated version of that. So that's kind of why. And he's my favorite hitter.
Okay, I got you.
Player, I guess.
Okay, so next question I do have for you is, if you could play a character in any movie, what character and what movie would you choose?
Oh man, oh man. There's so many movies going through my head right now.
Well, you more a sports movie guy or action?
Yes,
or...
all of the above, comedy, everything. You know, but I would probably, let's see. I can't choose one. Let's see. Let's see. Name. Let's see. Name a movie. I like a bunch of movies. You know, I can't really pick a favorite one. I'm gonna have to go with. You know what? I'm gonna have to go with Captain Jack Sparrow from Pirates of the Caribbean, and not necessarily like the drunk lifestyle that he lives and all that, but I feel like it'd be fun to go around and do what he does. You know, like pirating, I guess. But I feel like that would be a lot of fun.
Okay, I got you. Okay, so last question I want to ask you is, would you rather be in a coma for 5 years or be in jail for 10 years?
Ooh. You know what? A coma. Because when you come out of a coma, you don't really know that you're asleep. So like I guess it's just like you're sleeping for 5 years. I obviously don't know how it is to be in a coma, but I feel like in jail for 10 years would be a lot worse than you just being asleep for 5 years.
Okay. I got you. I think that's all kind of pretty much about the video. Definitely appreciate you doing this, Will, and definitely looking forward to you and the Rebels playing this year, my man.
Oh yeah, I am too. It's gonna be a lot of fun.
Oh yeah. Okay, have a good one, Will. Howdy toddy.
Howdy toddy.